G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be looking at MX Plasma KDE. This is on real hardware, so I've decided to do the install on real hardware. I cannot remember what I had installed in here. So this is the MX welcome screen. We'll probably look at that a little bit more after the install, and we'll boot into the installed desktop itself. So let's get started. So this is the MX Linux installer. I believe it's called, I think, the Gazelle installer, Don't quote me on that, I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's called something like that. You got a live log there of what's going on. Keyboard settings here. You can change keyboard settings from here if you wish. Let's have a look at that. And there we go, English US. Okay, back to the installer, next. Now we can run the partition tool if needed. Now I'm pretty sure I've got an EFI partition here, so we'll see what happens. By default it's a custom install. You can auto install to that whole disk and just go next and done deal. It'll do it all for you. Whether you're on EFI or legacy, I believe it'll probably just set it up the way it's supposed to be. You can leave some free space here if you wish, and you can encrypt the disk as well. You can run the partition tool, which will be gparted. Let's have a look at what I've got here anyway. Actually, no, they're using the KDE partition manager. So I have a FAT32, an XT4 and an XT4. Okay, so that FAT32 will be for my EFI install. So let's see if we can deal with that on the next bit. Let's go next. So for the root partition, it's going to be an XT4, and it will be, I've got two here. The 60 gig will be the system partition. This one will be a data, so I'll choose that one there. I can choose this one here to be home. I'll choose home to be part of the root. Swap, don't believe I've got a swap. That's all right, I could probably deal with that later. I could probably make a swap file. And for the boot, that doesn't give me an option for boot. Need to go, I think it's on the next bit we choose the boot partition, I believe, unless it's not set up for EFI. So we can preserve the data in /home if you're upgrading from one MX Linux to another. You can install the system fresh, but whatever data you've got in the home /home can be preserved if you've got a separate home partition, and it won't be touched. You just click this box here and done deal. So let's go next. You can choose to encrypt here as well. So let's go next. No, I don't want to do that yet. I think I need to go back and set up possibly an EFI. I'm not overly familiar with this. I've used it a couple of times, but I'm not really familiar with it. So I need to, let's see, shred, delete, properties. It's got boot ESP there under the properties, boot ESP. So maybe it needs EFI boot as a label. Okay, and let's go to properties on this one, and that will be label root. Okay, apply that. It's successfully finished. Close that, and let's see if we can do that again. Okay, so after setting the system disk, which is what we did, install grub for Linux and Windows, ESP, and it's SDA1. So that's on the next step. So that's already found that to be the correct one. I probably didn't need to do the flags on, or the label on the previous step. Doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt to do that. That's probably the label there, I think, I'm not sure. So let's go next. Computer name, this will be desktop. Oh, actually, MX-desktop. I won't worry about the domain. I want Samba for networking, and the work group will be work group. Next. Then I choose my locale, which is Australia. I like 24-hour time. Time zone is Australia and WA, West. I think you only use local time if you're dual booting with Windows, I believe. Service settings advanced. So you've got all these service settings here you can mess around with. I'm not going to touch that. And then we'll go next. Default user login name, my usual, and password. Confirm that. Okay, that's correct. Root password. That's correct. Now you can choose to show the passwords. I'm not going to do that. You can choose an auto login and save live desktop changes. Now I haven't made any changes to the desktop, but if I moved this panel to the left and put some shortcuts down here for applications and removed a couple of system trays down here, those changes will be made once you boot into the new desktop. So whatever changes you make, you can choose to click this one and save them. If I want to make changes, I'll do it after it's installed. I'm not fussed about that. Next. So we are left to just wait for the installer to finish. So I've got an NVRAM boot variable update failure. I've had that once before. I cannot remember what the problem was there. System may not boot, but it can be repaired with the grub rescue boot menu. Okay, well hopefully it does boot. I don't want to automatically reboot the system after the installer's closed because I want to get my video from here. Now I don't know if this is going to boot, but definitely if it doesn't, I'll have to be asking Dolphin what's going on because I've had this error before. So we'll see how we go. So here we are on the freshly installed desktop of MX Linux. No, we didn't have any luck booting the system. The reason probably is that I was running that from a Ventoy USB stick, and I have had somebody mention on my channel that when using the Ventoy USB, it doesn't actually install, but it's good for looking around. So I thought I would try that out, and seems to be the case because I individually wrote MX Linux to its own USB, installed without a hiccup. Everything went fine. So maybe installing from Ventoy is a bit of a problem. I'm not sure whether it is or not, but judging by this one, it's a slight problem. I might have to try a couple more, see whether it affects certain distributions or not. So anyway, this is the MX welcome screen. You've got your frequently asked questions here, and they have very good documentation for MX Linux, and you can find just about anything you need to know in here. The user's manual, same deal. I'll take you to their wiki, and there's the MX wiki right there. You've got tools, so you've got all the MX tools under this category here. So you've got a whole heap of tools for the system. You can tweak your panel, so you can move your panel to the left, to the top, to the right, and then you have to apply. I'll just leave mine at the bottom for now. I won't bother applying that. You got forums, MX Linux forum if you've got a problem. Very helpful people over there at the forums there. Videos will probably take you to Dolphin's videos, no doubt. Dolphin Oracle, who's the front lead for MX. Let's have a look. So those links take you to YouTube. Oh, it's got other... Tyler's Tech. Okay, so they're using other videos. I'm sure some of Dolphins might be in amongst that. Let's try Fluxbox. Oh no, they're using other people's videos. It's good to see that they're using other people's videos there. you can contribute to the project, and you can contribute to the project here. If you wish to contribute to the MX Linux project, an easy link to get to that. Then you got codecs, and yes, I'll assume legal responsibility for that. Codecs have been downloaded and installed successfully. And then you've got your popular apps. It's a nice simple little tool to look for any apps that you want to install, and there's plenty of them. We'll just quickly go through these, and you can pause to check out what's under the categories if you wish. Okay, so that was the most popular packages there, or most popular apps. You've also got the stable repo, MX Test Repo, Debian Backports, and Flatpaks. So we'll have a quick look at what's installed here. So that's what's installed, and then we have some shortcuts down the side here: Conky Toggle, LibreOffice, MX Tools, MX Package Installer, MX User Manual, Console, KSysGuard, Quick System Info. Let's have a look at that. Press any key to close. But you also got About System there, and KDE Plasma version, which is quite a fair bit behind, but will be very stable. Being based on Debian, it's always going to be quite a fair few versions behind, especially the desktop and also the applications. But the applications can be you can get over that if you have a Flatpak version of a more updated product application. So if you have a Flatpak version of an application, that'll be more up to date. That would be a way of getting around it if it's available for that particular application. So let's have a look at Flatpaks real quick. So MX Linux includes the repository of Flatpaks for the user's convenience only, and is not responsible for the functionality of the individual Flatpaks themselves. So that's fair enough. Let's not show this message again. So let's have a look through here, see if Blender is available and what version. So Blender is available, and it's 2.9, which is the latest version. Because I'm on Arch at the moment and I plan on moving from that. Mine's already updated to 2.9, but I have not tried that out yet, so I will try it out when I'm editing this video to see whether the changes are a lot better and some of those bugs have disappeared. So that'll be interesting to see. So yeah, that's right up to date. So Flatpaks can help you out with that. So you got the Flatpaks there available if needed. So this is your KDE Plasma desktop. We have Dolphin here, and Dolphin about, I don't know where the about is on Dolphin. Don't use it that often. No, it's definitely not that. Okay, so it's under control, help and about Dolphin 18.08. I don't know what their latest version is, but I'm only assuming that it's a bit behind there, being based on Debian. This one here, we've got about MX Welcome. So that is the welcome screen. Let's close that. Now this is Plasma Desktop. Probably doesn't need any introduction unless you're new to Linux. Then you're probably best to look it up somewhere where somebody has done some reviews or look-arounds of the KDE Plasma Desktop. So you got quick system info there, which I forgot about. User manual, package installer, MX tools, LibreOffice, and the Conky toggle. That would probably toggle this Conky on and off. Let's check it out. So now it's off. And now it's on. Some time. It's got time and date. Some basic system info there for you. It's using 47% of memory. That's interesting. CPU 21%. That's very interesting indeed. Quick system info. Press any key to close. F4 to toggle the what's this called? The Arcquake, I think it is. Maybe wrong, I'm not sure. So if we try HTOP, I'm not sure if HTOP's installed or not. That seems a bit high on the CPUs. Really strange. But I am recording though, and I always forget to say that, but that I'm recording, so maybe that's just the reason why. So fair enough anyway. And then we have 75 new updates. So we click on that, and all we need to do is, if you remember the green box is down here, just press the green box. You can automatically answer yes to all prompts during upgrade, automatically close terminal window when upgrade complete. So I'll automatically prompt yes anyway, and that's click the upgrade button, put in our password. So you do have system information down the bottom here. So I don't know what that means. Cache dirty, write back 9 megabytes. So memory is 1600 megabytes, 1650, CPU 24%. So if we click on that, we get the system monitor anyway. Okay, so that's the usage there. Let's have another quick look at the system information. CPU, quad-core i5, Intel Core i5 3330, Ivy Bridge, and graphics is AMD Cape Verde Pro Radeon HD. So I don't know if that has anything to do with whether Plasma runs higher on usage on any of those, but seems to be, to me, a little bit high on usage. Even though I'm recording, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, 20 odd %. Normally MX Linux has a very low usage rate, although they do use the XFCE desktop by default on their flagship desktop anyway. I think it may be just because I'm recording, that's all that would be. If we have a look at the process table, simple screen recorder, it's taken up 18% of the usage, that's why. I didn't know simple screen recorder took up that much usage, but yeah, that's the reason why. That's why it's so high. And then you've got all your other stuff adding to it. So yep, so that's a fair enough usage anyway. And while that's updating, we'll just quick look at the calendar. We've got the status and notifications there. I've got a shortcut to system settings right here. System settings, the usual Plasma settings. So let's have a quick look at the MX tools. It's a bit hard to cover this in a look around on MX Linux because there's so much stuff here. You got a USB formatter here, iDevice mounter, quick system info here, software, fixed GPG keys, which Debian sometimes can have a problem with. Package installer, which we've looked at, but that's another area where you can find your package installer if you're looking for it. Repo manager. Probably wouldn't want to mess around. Oh, repo manager. So you can probably choose where your repos are coming from. Select app repository that you want to use. I don't know which one I'm using. Select fastest MX repo for me. So you can choose that. Select fastest MX repo for me. So you can do that. That's what that does. It helps you manage the repos and probably select a faster mirror closest to your geographical location. You can open the welcome from here. System keyboard, system locales, tweak. So there's the panel tweak there. Brightness sys tray. I'm not sure what that's supposed to do. I'm not really sure. Select sound. So you can select your sound card here if necessary. Close that. Conky, you can. The MX Conky data set has been updated. Okay. And you can mess around with your Conky and your colors and choose a different Conky if you wish. You can change the colors of the Conky there. You can just mess around with that. Don't know if you can. You probably want to copy that before you do anything if you want to go back to the defaults. I don't know if there's a default setting there. No. Might be undo, Conky manager, undo. That's interesting. Date and time. Should be all okay for me anyway. It's a nice looking clock. Network assistant. So Linux drivers for network if you really... okay, it's not installed. Net diagnostics. Net diagnostics. Status. So I don't need to mess around with that anyway. Codex installer we've done. NVIDIA driver installer, which I don't have an NVIDIA driver. I don't know whether that matters. I think I'll just close that. Bash config. So you've got some configurations for your bash there. They're all aliases there. Okay, so you've got a few aliases there. So you can add an alias. You can close that now. So press any key. This terminal window can now be closed. Press any key to close. I just normally press the enter key. So the bash config, let's add an alias. So let's do that. So number 10. We'll put UP for update, and we'll put in there sudo apt update. And apply that and close. And then all we need to do now is go to the console here and just put UP, put my password, put in my password, and then it's doing an update. So that's how Alias works. That's pretty handy because normally Alias you got to go to your home, control, hidden files, and if you go, I think it's in config. No, it's in your home folder itself. Bash. So bash rc. So if we open bash rc, you'll probably see that alias is in here somewhere if I can find it. I can't seem to find it, so I don't know whether it's in there or maybe it's in this one here, bash. Oh, there it is. So it's made an alias up equals sudo apt update. So that's got a separate file for your additions, bash aliases. You've got a user manager here, group membership, add remove groups, copy sync, cancel that. options, administration. So there's always plenty of choices in here, and you've got to clean up as well. So you can clean folders and you can apply that. You can schedule cleanup as well here, daily, weekly and monthly. Empty trash, trash older than 30 days, so there we go. Boot repair, if you've got a problem with boot options, let's have a look at that. So you can change the timeout. If you want it to boot quicker, you can drop that down to like 1 second or something. You can always come back and change it. You can enable the theme here, so there's plenty of themes for your boot. So plenty of boot options there. Chi-root rescue scan. Chi-root into a Linux system in order to repair it. So we don't need to do that. That's probably an extreme action if you've got a real huge problem there. You can create your own snapshot. Create a live ISO snapshot of your running system. And you can create a full-featured live USB that you can carry around with you. I haven't never really tried these two MX tools here. I've actually tried the snapshot, but I haven't tried the USB maker, so probably need to get into that, try it out. Right click on the desktop, you got your options for the Plasma desktop. You can create new files here of a text file, LibreOffice Calc, Draw and all that. It's always good to see that as a shortcut, to be honest. Open with Dolphin here, configure desktop, which will be your wallpapers. Quite a few wallpapers to choose from in there. I like this wallpaper here, it's quite nice. Apply that, okay. That's quite a nice wallpaper, that one. So I see we've still got the menu on the desktop here. I think you don't have that menu on the newest Plasma, I'm pretty sure. A couple of desktop workspaces here to choose from. And scrolling the mouse on the desktop will take you, it's a little bit, goes a little bit funny at times, and you can see which desktop you're on. So if you scroll too far, it bounces around. If you just scroll one click on the mouse, it doesn't have a problem. But if you go too much like that, it'll just bounce up and down. So that is the MX Linux 19.2 Petito Feo, I think it's called. Where's the welcome? Petito Feo. So you can choose to show this dialog at startup if you wish. And this is MX Linux with the KDE Plasma desktop with all the MX tools that you're used to on the XFCE desktop available on a KDE Plasma desktop. So that's pretty awesome. Looks like they've done a pretty good job there. It seems to be running quite well. Haven't had any issues so far. Haven't been running it long, so it's probably a bit too early to say whether it's going to have any issues. I doubt it very much. It's set on a very stable base in Debian, so normally you don't get too many problems there. So that was a look around the MX Linux 19.2 KDE Plasma desktop. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.